everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mike's Mini Motors. So, we're getting started on another Ruckus now. This is my buddy Brandon.
Hello.
This is his Ruckus he just picked up this summer. It's completely stock minus the lowered seat frame I gave him, but that's about to change drastically. We're going to GY6 swap this thing and much more. You're doing the front end and everything, correct?
Front end, disc brakes, everything.
So,
whole thing.
Yeah, the whole shebang. And so we're going to have lots of episodes for you, but this is going to be part one. And we're going to start off with tearing it down so that we can get the frame rails, or the frame halves painted and prepped and everything, and then
battery box.
Yeah, get it disassembled, and the rear frame, the tabs we need ground off and everything like that, and then he's going to take these parts home and get them painted. Once that's done, then we'll get back to the build. So first off, we're going to start tearing down. We'll get like the seat frame off, the floorboards, and
battery box and all the guts and everything else like that.
We'll end up getting the motor pulled off. But yeah, we'll start with the seat and the floorboard. So let's get to it. Okay, so we got the seat and frame off and the top floorboard, and there's a lot of dust in here. For this thing only having 400 miles, it's a little dirtier than I was expecting, but
it's like 480.
Oh, he brought it down to the river.
Yeah.
Some really dusty stuff.
That's where we're getting a lot of this stuff, I think.
So next we're going to go ahead and we'll get the battery box pulled off, and then this other part of the floorboard.
Lower half of the floorboard.
Floorboard, we'll get the handle. I'm gonna wait on the handlebars actually because it's holding it on. We'll get the tail light off and then just start stripping it down, and we'll be getting it prepped to get this motor off of here. So that's where we're at.
Incoming.
Okay, so then we got the battery box, the rest of the floorboard off. It's starting to look a little more empty. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this jack the front, the middle of the frame up so that the motor's not really on the ground, and we'll start unhooking everything here so we can get that old motor and wheel out of the way. All right, so we've got the motor, besides the physical mounting, unhooked. We got, as you can see here, all the wiring harness undone, the fuel line. Didn't undo the coolant lines because we just undo the tank and have it sit here. But next we're gonna have to pull the shock off, and then right here and here, these bolts are what hold the front of the get motor on here. And at that point, we should be able to just take the whole thing and just slide it out. Alright, so this motor is completely unhooked. Nice thing is once you unhook these, since there's the center stand on there and the rear wheel, you can just normally just slide it back. But our stand decided to fold up and drop the engine down, but
My fault.
it is what it is. So yeah, now that engine's completely off there, and now it's only a couple more bolts and this whole rear frame comes off. Alright, so as you can see, the without the motor on here, this doesn't look like much. There's like nothing left. So what we're gonna do now is there's just 4 bolts. The whole rear frame comes off. 1 bolt, the fuel filter comes off, and then from here back, everything's done. And then since there's no weight back here, we can probably pull off these straps that are keeping it from tipping and just rely on the wheel vise. And then we'll start pulling off the handlebars and then kind of just stripping this down so that he can take the frame home and get it all painted up exactly how he wants. So let's get all this stuff off of here. So, as you can see, the bike is down to almost nothing. Last thing we gotta do is we're gonna leave the triple tree in and just mask it off instead of dealing with all of this. But essentially, I think we're just gonna have these 4 bolts and a couple holding the fender on, and then we're gonna be down to a bare frame with the triple tree in it, and then this guy can take it all home and get it all painted up. So let's get this front end off, and then we're completely disassembled. All right, so now we're down to just.
I'm sorry.
I'm laughing.
Oh. Okay.
Woosah.
Okay.
This is the first time I've actually filmed with somebody else. That's actually more fun. All right, so now we're down to just the pieces and parts, and that took us all of what, an hour maybe? Maybe an hour. That was with us filming. Like these things, there's nothing to them. It was really easy to tear down. Unfortunately, it just hit. It's 10:02 p.m. So we're just at the noise ordinance. So this rear frame here, to be able to take the GY6, we need to cut and grind off quite a few, if not most, all of these tabs off, so that because they're either not needed or they're in the way. But since it's 10 o'clock, we can't do that tonight, so that will be saved for tomorrow. But yeah, these bikes are super easy to take down. There's not much to them, and so tomorrow we'll get to grinding this down, and then at that point, Brandon can take all of these home and get them all painted up on his time. And so that's where we're gonna end it tonight. So we'll see you tomorrow. All right, now that we got the Ruckus disassembled, we have to grind on these 2 parts. So on the headlight one, we're gonna have to take these tabs off, and we'll relocate the blinkers to where the reflectors are. And then we're gonna relocate the horn behind the battery box, so that tab will go. And then on this, it'd just be easier to tell you what we are keeping. So we're gonna have to keep the shock mount, and that's about it. Like that we have to keep. Most of the other ones are going to be ground off. Oh, the seat tabs we need to keep, because otherwise you're not going to have a seat. So let's get to the grinding. all clean shaven now. You can see over here, these are all the tabs and mounts and everything we had to cut off and grind smooth and stuff. So here's the headlight bracket, it's ready to go. Took off the blinker tabs and then ground off the tab for the horn. And then here on the rear frame section, almost everything's gone. Pretty much what we need to keep the shock mount here, and then the seat mounts. And then we just kept a little tab here, or this little hoop, because that's where, on mine, I ran my brake line and stuff through there just to hold it. And then, yeah, just all these other ones. And actually on this crossbar here, the tabs that are all on the top here actually have to be removed. Some of these other ones we could have left if we wanted to, but why? But these ones here, there's mounts that go here, and so they had to be taken off so that we could do that. But now we'll give them a little coat of Bondo and sand them sand them down, and then see how smooth we are, and maybe do a couple coats if we have to. And then at that point, Brandon can take these home and paint them. Here's the parts with the Bondo on them. We sanded them down, smoothed them out a bit. So they're ready. Brandon's just going to take it home, do a little finer sanding on them, and then get them painted. Once he gets those done, we'll bring them back, and we can get on to the next part of this build. So that's going to end this episode. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, go ahead and like the video, like and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment if you want. Have a good one.